We welcome you back to Sparky Anderson Field for some more Conejo Oaks baseball against the Orange County Riptide. I'm Max Schwartzberg alongside Josh Mechanick, and we will take you through tonight's action. The Oaks are coming off an explosive 10-1 win over the MLB Academy Barons yesterday. The Oaks have already met the Riptide this year and unfortunately fell 3-1. However, there were a lot of positives. Josh, why don't you take us through what has been encouraging this year from this Oak lineup?
Well, the Oaks offense has done a great job of just working themselves deep into counts and finding the pitch they want, really getting themselves into hitters' counts. And yesterday, after the tough loss on Thursday night when they were only able to muster up one run, they were aggressive in the counts they needed to be. We saw Jordan King hitting a double off the wall on the first pitch. They just got to continue to get themselves into hitters' counts and then pound the baseball when they get pitches up in the zone to hit.
Absolutely. This Oaks pitching especially has been absolutely spectacular in the early goings this year. Just utter dominance. And the Oaks hitters have also been very solid. 10 runs in yesterday's game. They did have a little bit of that blunder against these Riptide. But there's a lot of positives to see. You could say, yes, we're only 3 games into the season. We're still trying to figure things out. But at the end of the day, this squad looks very good. As Charlie Decker said post-game, they think that they're competitive and they're ready to compete this year as we get going. Ethan Glassman on the bump today, as we'll take you through the Riptide starting lineup. Leading off, it'll be Matthew Flaherty. He'll play center field. Batting second, Nathan Sedana will play first. Rocco Gump will bat third and play third base. Jake Brown, the right fielder, will bat fourth. Luke Johnson will bat fifth and play second with Ace Reese, the designated hitter, in the sixth spot. Matthew Thomas will play left field. He'll bat seventh. Brendan Wilkinson, who homered against the Oaks in the game earlier this season, he'll catch and bat eighth. And Jackson Kemmerer, the center fielder, will bat ninth. For the Oaks, Austin Carrillo back in there for another game. Center field, he'll bat first. Jordan King, he'll play second and bat second. Will Joseph back in the lineup after being scratched yesterday. He'll bat third and play left. Brandon Anderson at third base, he'll bat fourth. Tanel Beltowski, he'll bat fifth and play first base with Landon West. The catcher will bat sixth. Ty Walton, the designated hitter, out of the seventh spot. Tommy Kedlinger, the right fielder, batting eighth for Alan Camarillo, the shortstop, batting ninth. We're just about ready to get underway here at Sparky Anderson Field. Matthew Flaherty, the center fielder, standing in from the University of Utah as the umpire is signaling for Nathan Sedana on deck to move a little bit back more towards the circle. Hitters obviously love kind of shifting around there. It's a lot easier. Glassman ready, lefty on lefty with the first pitch. And it's fouled straight back, and we're underway. Just a beautiful day for some Conejo Oaks baseball. Some clouds in the skies, but mostly blue. A very nice breeze. Oaks looking to go 3-1. Riptide looking to go 2-1 on the season as that pitch misses outside. The Riptide coming off a loss to even their record at 1-1 against the Arroyo Secos Saints. That was yesterday. One offering, and a swing and a miss. Nasty breaking stuff.
For Glassman this year, he's coming off his senior season at Sonoma State. He has entered the transfer portal, so he will be looking for a new school this summer, which makes these starts extra important for Glassman. Had a sub-5 ERA this year at Sonoma.
On the ground, second base. King has it. He'll toss over to first for out number 1. Very quick and efficient first out for Ethan Glassman, exactly like you're looking for if you're Coach Solis and the Oaks. So now Nathan Cadena, the first baseman, will come up to bat. .260 average with 6 homers in his most recent season at San Jose State. There's a lot of talent in the CCL, a lot of players entering the transfer portal after spectacular seasons. Obviously, Brandon Anderson entering the portal from Louisville where he hit 5 home runs. As you mentioned, Glassman, a lot of talent here. First pitch to him is roped down the left field line, but he's well out ahead.
For Cadena, he's one of the returning players for the Riptide. Always seems to find himself towards the top of that lineup when we're facing Orange County.
So some returners on both sides. Cadena, obviously, Austin Carrillo in his 3rd season for the Oaks. Cole Fisher, a pitcher back here. A lot of friendly faces around the CCL, and these guys start to learn the tendencies of the other players over time. Glassman ahead 0-2. And that'll just miss upstairs and a little bit out.
Now that we're back home here at Sparky Anderson Field, we do have access to the TrackMan device, and so we are able to see the strike zone, and that one definitely did miss outside.
Downstairs, and the count evens at 2. Big gap out in left center field. 2-2 pitch. Softly grounded back to Glassman, but he bobbles it, and there's not going to be a play at first as it gets away. Now heading over to second is Cadena. He's going to get there standing and round the base. Kind of a disastrous play in no man's land, and it ends up biting the Oaks. Now, I'm not sure what they'll rule that. There's definitely an error on the play, but I'm not sure if they'll give him base hit plus an error for the extra base because the first baseman, Beltowski, was really nowhere there. He was going after the ball, which kind of led him away, so he was going to beat it anyway. Glassman probably should have just pocketed that baseball. They have listed an error on the scoreboard here, but still no official rule. We'll have to check in once that gets plated. But now lefty to lefty to Rocco Gump on the outside corner.
Yeah, that was certainly an in-between play, kind of a tough one between pitcher, first baseman, and the second baseman there. There was just not the communication that was needed to make a play and get it out there. Probably going to go down as an error.
Upstairs. You know, it was interesting, and when the Oaks traveled down to Orange County, we had a left-handed starter, but they really stacked their lineups with lefties, and we're seeing that again today. Not sure if there's reverse splits going on or they just want to see how they can stand in there, but kind of something you don't always see. Usually those lineups like to stack righties against a left-handed starter. Looking back at Cadena, and the when runner goes, the throw to third, and he's going to be gunned out. No, he's called safe. I thought he got him on the helmet, but apparently sliding in safely is Cadena. That throw was a little bit high and might have cost him a little bit of time there.
Some heads-up base running over there at second base from Nathan Cadena, taking third off of Glassman there. He was able to just slide in ahead of the tag.
Now a runner 90 feet away, and that one's popped out to the left out of play. Anderson kind of played even with the lip of the grass. We saw the Barons drop a drag bunt down on Anderson yesterday, their leadoff hitter, which caused him to kind of be more mindful. It looks like he kind of remembers that today. 2-2 pitch coming up to Gump. 3-2.
That was the hardest pitch of the afternoon so far for Ethan Glassman. Clearly turning it up a notch in a 2-2 count. 89 miles an hour on the radar gun. Just misses outside.
3-2 offering. And a swing and a miss. Way out ahead of a changeup. First strikeout of the night for Glassman. Oaks went out away from getting out of this one.
It's a good pitch there from Glassman, a 3-2 count. Oftentimes you're not sure if guys will trust their off-speed stuff. But first base open, Glassman not afraid to go to it and gets a swing and a miss.
So now Jake Brown stands in from California Baptist University, and he'll pop one up to the right and out of play. Brown with a .245 average with 8 home runs this past season. A lot of power in the CCL. Kind of interesting that we have not seen a lot of home runs in these Oaks games. Obviously, catcher Wilkinson, who's going to come up a little bit later, homered in the game against the Oaks. Popped up to the right, and that'll find some seats. But the Oaks, no home runs yet. Most certainly looking for that first one today. Still a lot of offense.
Glassman does not need to throw a strike in this situation. Can definitely waste a pitch or two.
Hung up at third was Cadena. Now they're trying to ask for a balk, but there was no official call. And Anderson was yelling over there.
Now, Glassman even told them. He said, no, I stepped off of that foot.
Ahead 0-2. High fly ball, right field shallow. The right fielder, Kettlinger, sunglasses on. He'll make the catch, bill the cap high to retire to the side. Riptide strand a runner. The Oaks are coming up here with the bottom of the first inning. Back here at George Sparky Anderson Field, Riptide don't score. Oaks up here, ready to get things going. Pitcher for the Riptide, Tanner Wardy, had a kind of a rough year at LMU in the past season. He just pitched a total of 1 inning, but he had a 9 ERA. So hopefully looking to get some more consistent reps in here in CCL summer ball play.
Well, it's really interesting for Wardy because even though he only threw 1 inning this year, he did appear in 5 games. So 4 of his 5 appearances, he faced 1 batter and was unable to record an out. And then he had 1 outing where he pitched a scoreless inning. And that was all his appearances this year.
You never know what you're going to see in baseball, that's for sure. Wilkinson tosses down to second, and Austin Carrillo, he's played in all 3 games, ready to play in his 4th, the 3rd year for this Oaks. Carrillo having a huge day yesterday, especially after a little bit of a tough start. I talked to him a little bit before yesterday's game. He was really telling me about his even-keeled approach and making sure that no matter how he's doing at the plate, he's always trying to double up on his approach and just make sure that he's got his head in the right place. And I think that's why a guy like Carrillo's had so much success. The first pitch to Austin will miss outside. Nice two-seam action on that fastball, but Carrillo doesn't bite. Line to right field, but right at Brown. So an unlucky out to start this one, but a solid barrel for Austin Carrillo. Hopefully a sign of what's to come in today's Oaks lineup offensively.
Yeah, good swing there from Carrillo. 93 miles an hour off the bat. And just unfortunately for him, it was right at the right fielder.
So now Jordan Kang, who's had a very nice start to his CCL career, standing in. Kang yesterday doubled off the very top of the wall in the first inning of the 10-1 victory. No home runs last year at Harvard, but he did have 2 in his freshman campaign. Hopefully trying to find that little power stroke in the early goings here. Nice bender drops in there for a strike.
That was a really good breaking ball there. Nice slide piece from Wardy. Started at the head of King, ended up right down the middle. 17 inches of movement on that one.
It kind of buckled him. They started it on the righty-righty matchup on the inside corner. He thinks that's going to stay in, then it drops right in there. Two-seam misses upstairs. And a little out.
Looked like a great pitch from Wardy. It's got good life on it as well. A lot of arm side run from that fastball. Filthy.
Swing and a miss, and he's very much fooled by that bender. Another slider. Looks very sharp, wouldn't you say, today?
Yeah, it's an incredibly sharp slider. Oh, pitch started middle. Ended up would have hit a lefty batter.
The 2-2 to Kang. That'll miss upstairs. That pitch looked like he was trying to do what he did in the 2 pitches prior, where it kind of buckled King on a slider that starts on the inside part of the zone and then just drops right in, but he missed upstairs. The payoff pitch. Ball 4, and he walks him.
It's a good plate appearance there by King. He was able to see those 2 sliders up and just left them up. And of the 6 pitches he saw that about 5 of them were that off-speed pitch.
So now Will Joseph, who was scratched from yesterday's lineup, I'll tell you an interesting story as to why after this pitch. So Joseph brought his contact lenses on the bus. He didn't have them in before the game, perhaps to take a nap on the bus, because as a contact lens user myself, nobody ever wants to sleep in those. But for whatever reason, he just couldn't get them inside his eyes pre-game. Game time kept coming around, and then he had to be scratched. 1-0 will miss downstairs. But I can definitely feel for him. Contact lens user myself. When I played baseball in high school, if I didn't have those in, it's safe to say I probably wasn't going to have a good day at the plate or in the field.
Yeah, hitting without being able to see has got to be pretty difficult, because hitting while you're able to see is already especially difficult.
It's the hardest thing to do in sports, hit that little round ball with that little round bat, yet these guys are just so skilled at it. Joseph, 5 home runs in the last season at Louisville. And he's really found his power stroke moving into summer ball play, perhaps looking for the first Oaks home run of the season. Ahead 3-0 here, we'll see if he's the green light. That'll catch the corner. Left fielder Thomas kind of played very shallow with the left-handed Joseph, perhaps not thinking he's got that opposite field power, but we'll see. And that's going to miss. Back-to-back walks to Oaks hitters. So now in trouble is Wordy, and upcoming is Brandon Anderson.
Yeah, a couple of great plate appearances put together by the 2-3 hitters in this Oaks lineup, King and Joseph. Wordy just unable to find the zone here these last couple of hitters, and instead of chasing those pitches that are just off the plate, the Oaks hitters done a nice job spinning on him, now giving their cleanup man a chance to drive in a couple runs.
Absolutely, and another thing that we were talking about in the Riptide game that they lost is even though they didn't score many runs, they saw a lot of pitches. We're kind of seeing that early on here. Obviously, Carrillo pretty early in that count lining out to right, but if you could see a lot of pitches, that's huge for scouting reports to your teammates. You're saying, hey, he's got tendencies like this, the ball moves like this, and it really helps out, especially as somebody who's played before, hearing that. 2 on for the Oaks. Strike 1.
Wordy clearly feeling confident with that breaking ball, goes to the slider on the first pitch to Anderson and spots it on the corner.
Drops in there for a strike at the bottom of the zone, so he's down 0-2. Perhaps what Wilkinson spoke about really working, because he was falling behind of basically every hitter, now quickly out ahead. King on second with Joseph on first. Oaks trying to get some runs here in the first inning. The 0-2 coming up to Anderson.
Well, it's good pitching there from Wordy. He went with 2 sliders to begin this at-bat from Anderson, and after he sees a couple breaking balls, goes back with a fastball up, and Anderson does a nice job of watching it miss at the top of the zone.
That just misses downstairs. A great take by Anderson. The Oaks are yet to ground into a double play this season. Kind of surprising considering we're in the 4th game already. Oaks looking to jump on top early. 2 on and nobody out for the big hitter Anderson. 2-2. That'll miss, and he works at full. So what I was saying, the Oaks really working the at-bats in that first game against the Riptide, the 3-1 loss. They're doing the exact same thing here. Anderson falls behind 0-2. Now he works it back 3-2. So now a lot more pressure on Wordy. 2 on, nobody out. The payoff pitch. Fouled off. Looked like Joseph was running on the pitch, but King was not, so maybe a miscommunication there, because usually the lead runner would dictate that type of play.
Yeah, that definitely could have been disastrous for the Oaks. Had Anderson
Struck out, yeah.
That pitch. Will Joseph would have been hung up in no man's land between first and second.
King takes his lead at second. Joseph takes his at first.
What a pitch.
And that's on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Got him with the backdoor slider. 1 out in the inning. First strikeout of the day for Wardy.
That's the best slider that he's thrown today. Not only as far as movement goes, getting almost 2 feet of movement on that pitch, but also just that location on a 3-2 pitch. Nothing for Anderson to do with that one, just on the outside corner.
The corner. It's now 2 away in the inning. Oaks trying to cash in back-to-back walks to the second and third hitters of this game. 0-1. And that almost hits Beltowski. Good thing he got the barrel of the bat down. That could have been a foul ball or even a kind of rolled in play. You sometimes see those balls hit the bat, it goes in play, and it's just, well, that's just an unlucky ground out.
Yeah, it doesn't happen super often, but something that when you're a young hitter, one of the first things you're taught is to bring that bat down on pitches over your head.
Way upstairs, snapped to the first, but Joseph back safely with a slide. Beltowski with 3 home runs this past year. Looking for the first Oaks home run of the year, or at the very least just a run scored here in the first inning for the 2 free passes. Out ahead of that slider, fouled back into the glove of the catcher Wilkinson, and the count evens at 2.
Deuce is wild here.
Exactly. 2s everywhere. 2 on base, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Fouled off to the right, out of play.
God, Wardy really has great feel for that slider, and that one was his best yet as far as movement goes, left to right. 24 inches of break on that pitch.
We'll do it again, 2-2. And a swing and a miss. He strikes him out. So he strikes out back-to-back batters to get to end the side for the Oaks. Oaks don't score. We're going to go to the top of the second inning. Back here, scoreless on both sides after 1. Riptide coming back up to back. Luke Johnson to lead it off. Johnson hit .241 with no homers in his first season at Cornell. Grounded softly up the middle. King makes the throw across. 1 out on 1 pitch.
Well, that's exactly what you're looking for if you're Ethan Glassman. He was forced to throw 18 pitches in that first inning. Did get out of it scoreless. but gets a first pitch out to begin this second.
Ace Reese, the designated hitter, lefty to lefty to stand in. Reese hit .278 with 7 home runs at University of Houston. Power 5. A lot of talent, as we've mentioned today. 1-0 way upstairs, and West saves the face of the home plate umpire. Could have been a strike, but called a ball by home plate umpire.
Glassman really has a lot of life on his heater. Nearly 20 inches of movement on that fastball, and for a lefty, it's moving in towards his barrel.
3-0 swinging, and he fouls it straight back. You could tell he's frustrated with that. He thinks he could have homered on that one.
Well, anytime you're swinging on 3-0, you're looking to drive something, pick up an extra base hit, and being late on a 3-0 pitch is always frustrating as a hitter.
Oaks shifting on the left side. Anderson towards shortstop and Camarillo right behind the bag as the 3-1 pitch misses way outside for ball 4. First walk of the day issued by Glassman. Matthew Thomas coming off a really rough season at Cal, just a 143 average. He did have 4 homers in a small 63 at-bat sample size. Oaks looking to turn 2 and got out of this inning with 1 pitch. Way late on the fastball there. 88 on the heater.
Glassman definitely the type of pitcher that will induce a lot of ground balls. He's got the arm side run with the fastball, nice changeup and cutter as well. So nothing really coming straight.
That one's cued foul, and it almost kills Wilkinson in the on-deck circle. He had to jump out of the way to not be struck by that ball. You could tell that by the swing that Thomas was way out ahead, hitting it off the top of the bat. So it wasn't hit too hard, but still kind of close there over during the...
Oh, yeah, very close. The Oaks dugout even gave a cheer to Wilkinson. It was that jump.
0-2 swing and a foul tip, held on to by West. Another strikeout for Glassman, his second of the afternoon. It's now Brendan Wilkinson, who homered against the Oaks in the first game of the Riptide season just 2 days ago on Thursday, stands in.
Yeah, Wilkinson knew he got that one right off the bat. It did end up being a wall scraper, but it's tough to get it out there in OC.
Line the other way into right field. That's a base hit. We'll see if he tries to go first to first. He will not. He'll be stopped at second. Oaks get it back in quickly. So station to station, each runner up 90 feet. Jackson Kemmerer, friends with the pretty cool broadcaster, goes to the University of Nevada, knows Josh very well.
Yes, sir. Redshirted his freshman year, did Kemmerer. Big summer for him, looking to develop even more than he did his freshman year, trying to get some more playing time next season.
It's definitely nice to get some more consistent ABs, especially after a redshirt year. First pitch apparently misses. That seemed to be very much so in the strike zone. As we mentioned, we do have our TrackMan here. We could see exactly where that was. It was almost directly down the middle, maybe a little bit in the upper part of the zone, but like there's no question that it wasn't a strike. Check swing, did he go? No, he did not. But that ball also appeared to be in the zone, and you could see Glassman laughing on the mound as the home plate umpire seems to not like calling strikes right now.
And that's just when you chuckle out there on the mound. He's made 2 nice pitches.
Yep, nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Reese on second with Wilkinson on first, the 2-0, fouled off to the right out of play. Yeah, credit Glassman. He's just pumping the zone with strikes. Really, this entire bat, there's 3 strikes right there. I mean, that was almost egregious. The first one to open the at-bat, that was definitely the one that was right down the middle. But that one upper part of the zone, up and in, but it was like it wasn't even on the corner. It was in. Way out ahead of that breaking ball.
Hey, so that's actually going to be a cutter.
Ooh.
From Glassman. I talked to Coach Solis before the game just to get the repertoire down. It's that two-seam fastball, the cutter, and the changeup.
Again, a lot of twos on the scoreboard. This time for the Riptide. 2 on, 2 outs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's going to miss way downstairs. Nice job by West corralling that ball. But now a payoff pitch. Both runners will be on the move.
The Oaks infielder is going to stay home in this situation. No need to cover the bags with it being a 3-2, 2-out situation. Trying to cover as much ground as possible in this infield.
Both runners will be going on the pitch. High fly ball, deep left field. Joseph going back onto the warning track at the wall. He will make the catch on the run to retire the side. A little bit of a jump scare there, but no harm, no foul. Riptide strand 2 runners. We're going to the bottom of the second inning for the Oaks. Back here at George Sparky Anderson Field, still scoreless going into the bottom of the second inning. Riptide strand 2 on a fly out to left field, very deep left field I might add. The wind here definitely blows in, so more of a pitcher's park is Sparky Anderson Field for sure.
Yeah, definitely. The left-handed hitters certainly have an advantage with that jet stream wind on fly balls to right field, but for the right-handed bats, the ball just dies on fly balls to left.
First pitch to West, and he's tardy on a fastball. West had a big game yesterday, 3 RBIs, and looking to expand on that. The 0-1 waves and misses at a slider.
West is back behind the plate today. We saw him catch the first 2 games for the Oaks before sliding over to first base in yesterday's contest, and he's back behind the plate.
And an 0-2 hole here, though. Even right now, we could feel the wind kind of breezing inward from left field.
Home plate umpire goes out to the mound just to give the catcher some time as that one clipped him a little bit. There's a changeup there from Wardy that just didn't get the movement or the location he was looking for. Easy take for West.
Front door, I should say, slider misses in. West just 6 games in his freshman campaign at Rice. He actually pitched 2/3 of an inning, surprisingly. Plays with his brother Graydon there. 2-2. Popped foul. Great job staying on that slider. That's been really giving a lot of right-handed hitters trouble so far.
I mean, yeah, it's got 2 feet of movement, 24 just
Yeah.
that pitch. And with 2 strikes and nothing else you want to do there, just foul it away, get yourself another pitch.
West choking up on the bat. 2-2, drops down for strike 3 at the bottom of the zone. West didn't like the call, but it did appear to be a strike by Trackman, one away. So now 3 consecutive strikeouts going back to last inning from Wardy. He's really starting to feel the off-speed stuff.
He's really got that slider working, and that was the changeup to get West, and it was the best one he's thrown today.
Ty Walton standing in, and he waves and misses at a slider down away.
We saw Walton finish the game on the mound yesterday.
He's throwing cheddar, if I might add.
Yeah, he was. And I asked him when we got back on the bus, I said, so are you full-on two-way guy? He said, no, I stepped on the mound a month ago for the first time. It was just something he felt like he wanted to try, and he looked good last night.
I'll tell you one thing. Baseball players, while people may think it's like an easy sport because you don't run around, they're the best athletes. You see baseball players play other sports, they look normal. You see like a basketball player play baseball, like Giannis Antetokounmpo, it looks terrible.
100%. Just last week, Caleb Williams, number 1 overall NFL draft pick, was taking some swings in the Cubs cages, and everyone was roasting him.
Yeah.
Baseball's different.
For whatever reason it is, it looks like baseball players can play other sports, but other sports can't really play baseball. 1-2, Walton softly pops it up to the right side of the infield. Johnson will make the catch. That's why guys like Bo Jackson are just so impressive. Those who could truly do that at that level. It's pretty amazing. It almost seems inhumane.
Yeah, it really is remarkable seeing guys play multiple sports when one of them is baseball. And even Deion Sanders, who obviously Hall of Fame cornerback in the NFL, played baseball, and he was asked what the hardest thing he'd had to do.
Said it was hitting that ball. Hitting that dang ball. Hardest thing. It does mean things to you, he said. 0-1 to Kendlinger, and it's grounded softly at the plate. The pitcher will make the throw. Wardy, it's bounced, but just in time at first base. Very close play, but the Oaks end up going back down in order. Scoreless here. We're going to go to the top half of the 3rd inning. Back here at Sparky Anderson Field. Matthew Flaherty ready to lead it off. Top of the order. 1-2-3 coming up for the Riptide. Bunt showed, but he pulls it back.
Glassman at 33 pitches through 2 scoreless innings up to this point. Through 18 in the first, needed just 15 to get out of the second.
Wino will just miss upstairs. Looked like it could have caught the top of the zone.
There is no top of the strike zone today.
Or middle, topish. Yeah. 3-0.
Glassman just pacing around the mound for a minute. Just got to reset himself.
Perhaps collecting his bearings. Well, Reese, who walked, had the green light 3-0. We'll see about Flaherty. But that'll just miss way inside. In fact, it might have hit him. That's what the home plate umpire signaled.
Yeah, it did look like it clipped him just a tad.
Now batting the Riptide, number 14,
Nathan
Nathan Cadena.
Cadena, who reached on that error back in the first inning by the pitcher Glassman, coming up for the second time today. Flaherty gets his lead at first. Right down the middle for strike one.
2 feet of movement on that fastball there from Glassman. Starting on the inside corner, it ends up middle away.
That's just why it's so hard. He thinks that might even be an inside pitch. Just ends up right there. Gets jammed here and fouls it off. So he fell behind 3-0 to Flaherty, but he quickly jumps ahead 0-2 to Cadena. A little bit of a different look here. Oaks looking for a little double play here. On the ground to short to second. Ken goes to second for one. Camarillo's throw to first is in time. 4-6-3, twin killing for the Oaks. And if I might add, very smart play by Jordan King. That was a very soft line drive that he probably could have caught on the fly, but he made sure to play it on the hop to grab that double play.
Yeah, excellent footwork over there by King. He didn't rush it, didn't try to make the catch or even try to get on a short hop. Knew his best bet was to sit back, get that long hop, and flip it over to Camarillo, who had an easy turn over to first.
Strike one. At the knees.
I'll tell you what, whatever school winds up with Ethan Glassman is
You're going to be lucky.
program. A lot of movement on his pitches, decent velocity.
High fly ball center field. Carrillo corrals it over a little bit into the left center field gap. He'll make the catch to retire the side. We're heading to the bottom of the third. Still scoreless from Sparky Anderson Field. Back here at George Sparky Anderson Field, Alan Camarillo, I should say, ready to lead it off. The only man not to bat for the Oaks so far. Got his first hit as an Oak yesterday in the win against the Barons, and they'll take one upstairs. Camarillo's brother, Ali, played for Texas A&M today in the regionals. Had a nice base hit of his own.
Yeah, I was watching that too.
1-0, and he takes downstairs. You could see immediately recognized it, shaking his head at the pitch.
Do you know if A&M held on to win that game?
I do not.
They were down 6-3, came back, took a 7-6 lead over Oregon, who we've got a couple Oregon guys playing for us this summer that have yet to join the team.
2-0, high fly ball, center fielder. Kemmerer is in to make the catch, build the cap high for out number 1. So now top of the order, Austin Carrillo ready to get his second at bat. He lined out sharply to the right fielder, Brown, in the first. Kind of an unlucky out. On the corner, Austin nods his head in approval. Carrillo, one of those guys who knows the strike zone very well. One and one. Got some dogs barking here.
The bark at the park?
The bark at the park. That's actually a phrase the San Diego Padres use.
Oh, yeah, it's a phrase.
Too bad they lose a lot of games.
The Dodgers just had bark at the park. I don't know if you saw the
I did see that.
viral, all the fans.
Josh is a Dodgers fan. I'm unfortunately, I guess I should say, a Padres fan. 2-1 will miss. I've always wanted to bring my dog to, like, professional stadiums. I have a poodle named Juju. She's the best. Josh actually met Juju when we went to Orange County. My mom came up. That was pretty cool. 3-1's in there for a strike.
Well, we got an answer to our question from earlier. Our amazing statistician McKenna lets us know that Texas A&M beat Oregon 10-6. So Oregon has to win 2 in a row to keep their season alive. Otherwise, we'll be seeing Jack Brooks and Dominic Hellman shortly.
3-2 upstairs and ball 4. Carrillo on with the walk. Jordan Kane coming up. He reached on a base on balls in the first inning. Wardy's issued 3 free passes today. Carrillo on first with 1 out in the inning. There's a strike. Riptide in double play depth. Oaks still have not ground into that first double play of the summer. Runner goes. The throw down from Wilkinson will be late, and it gets into center field. Carrillo started to run, but he'll get back. Stolen base for Austin Carrillo.
Carrillo's hearing a little bit from the Oaks dugout.
They all dared him.
Yes, sir.
It's a good thing the center fielder, Kemmerer, was definitely covering right there and most likely would have thrown him out. He had to make the long throw, but he had the ball, and Carrillo was still basically on the bag at second base.
It's also a good thing that none of those guys were the third base coach because
Yeah.
and they were being out at third.
Carrillo laughing about it at second base. Runner in scoring position for the Oaks. 2-0, high fly ball, center field. Kemmerer chased back. He will make the catch. Carrillo started the tag, but he bluffs and comes back.
It's a nice play out there by Jackson Kemmerer in center field. Not too difficult to catch, but just getting the ball in quickly.
Now batting for the
Go
Oaks,
over to third and
number 17,
showing off the cannon.
Will Joseph.
Well, Joseph also reached on a free pass in the first inning. Coming up, still is not registered in at bat today, but a little 1,000 in the on-base percentage scorebook. Strains him up a little bit inside. Very borderline pitch right there. Could have gone either way. Wardy looks back at Carrillo. The 1-0 to Joseph. Up and away. You know, it's interesting to see. It seems like every other at-bat, you have the pitcher Wardy jumping ahead either 0-2 or falling behind 2-0, 3-0. Kind of that's consistently inconsistent, you could say. But he's held the Oaks scoreless so far in today's game. Carrillo dancing over at second base. That's in there for a strike. Nice little slider that's been so sharp today from Wardy.
He really trusts himself throwing that pitch. Behind the count 2-0 and a dangerous bat with Joseph up there. Instead of just giving in and throwing a fastball, he throws that slider.
3-1.
Once again, Wardy going with the slider. This time it just misses. He really doesn't want to give Joseph anything too good to hit here. We'll see if he gives him 3-1 right now. First base is open, but it is a dangerous hitter, Brandon Anderson on deck.
Big hitters count to a big hitter. That'll drop in there for strike 2. No force, but Carrillo might run on 3-2. The front door is open, but it would not matter unless he walked and they could throw it on the third. Oaks trying to get a run across home. The payoff pitch to Joseph. Tap foul.
It's a really good pitch. It's a really good pitch there from Wardy. He's thrown 3 straight sliders up to that point. Changes it up. Still throws an off-speed pitch. This time it's a changeup. And Joseph just fouls it away.
Joseph was the one who gave the Oaks a 1-0 lead at the time. Tommy Kedlinger with the 2-out single, and then Joseph doubled him home. That lead held for a while. Let's see if he does it again. 3-2 coming up. Runner goes, now he steps off, and they're going to have him hung up. Carrillo runs into an out, and a frustrating way to end the bottom of the third inning. Oaks remains scoreless as we go to the top of the fourth at Sparky Anderson. Welcome back. Still scoreless through the first 3 frames.
Now batting for the Riptide, number 28, Jake Brown.
So Jake Brown ready to lead it off for the Riptide. Brown flew out to the right fielder Kedlinger in his first at-bat all the way back in the first inning. Ripped on the left field line. That's going to be extra bases. Joseph over to clean it out in the corner as Brown chugs his way around to second base. And it's a leadoff stand-up double for Jake Brown. Definitely the hardest contact we've seen either side today.
105 miles an hour off the bat. We've seen the Oaks hit a couple balls just over 90 miles an hour today. Both of them, unfortunately, resulting in outs. But as you mentioned, that was the hardest hit ball we've seen today.
Luke Johnson standing in as the second base umpire calls time. Well, so far this season, the Oaks have really been the team that is able to pitch out of trouble. We'll see if they do it again here, but the Riptide obviously a very skilled offensive force. That'll miss up and in.
Oaks have sent someone down to the bullpen. Not warming up yet, but looking like they're about to start. Lightly tossing.
Conejo drops in there for a strike.
Glassman is barely over 50 pitches, but he hasn't pitched since May 8th.
We'll see how long of a leash he has. The 1-1 flared off to the right.
He's actually not, that was his 50th pitch.
Scoreless game here in the top of the 4th inning. Popped up shallow. It'll be an easy play for King, who makes the catch at the helmet of Brown at second base. Kind of find your head.
Now batting for the Riptide, number 1, 8, Reed.
That was the changeup there from Glassman, who locates it well. He's able to jam Johnson.
Now Ace Reese, who had a 3-0 green light in his first at-bat, they ended up walking against Glassman, stepping up. Nice pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
There's that cutter from Glassman, and that's a pitch that definitely makes this a tough at-bat for a left-handed hitter. He's got the fastball with about 2 feet of run that can come into you, but then also the cutter, which breaks away.
One ball, one strike. To right field, shallow. King will not make the play. Around from second is Brown. He will score the game's first run. Just out of the reach of Jordan King in shallow right.
That was a really good read over there at second base by Jake Brown, but also pretty risky from him as well. He started breaking for the plate pretty much as soon as that ball was hit, and it was just out of the reach of King. If he was able to reach that, it would have been an easy double play.
Yeah, had King reached that, that was just out of his reach. Kind of in no man's land, so a little bit frustrating for the Oaks. You feel like you made your right pitch, you got soft contact, but it goes against you. Popped up shallow to the right side out of play. Matthew Thomason, he struck out against Glassman in his first at-bat, swinging. In fact, all his 2 strikeouts today have been swinging. Reset first. The 0-1 coming up. Served foul. And the first run, the Riptide lead, only makes that inning ending out at third base more frustrating for the Oaks. You had such a good hitter up at Joseph, and just running into the third out at third base can't feel good. 0-2. That's upstairs.
That's exactly where you're looking for it, though, if you're Glassman. 0-2, do not need to throw a strike in that situation. And a few ball lengths above the zone, just looking for a chase from Thomas, who is disciplined enough to hold out.
Oaks had a double play last inning and also looking for a little 6-4-3 right here. Wind blowing very hard inward from left field. You saw that very far fly out to end the inning in the second from Kemmerer. 2-2. The count.
Well, the good thing for Glassman here is, even though he hasn't pitched in a month, he's still maintained his velocity from the first inning onward. He was sitting about 87, 88 in the first, and here in the fourth, he's sitting 88, 89 even.
Check swing foul at the plate.
He accidentally made contact in that one. Tried to hold up his swing, and luckily enough for Thomas, it got a piece of the bat, and he's able to stay alive.
Thomas just 63 at-bats last season for Cal. 2-2, swing and a miss. He chases one upstairs. Third strikeout of the day for Glassman.
Now batting for the Riptide, number 11.
Once again, he locates that fastball at the top of the zone, but this time Thomas is unable to hold up as he swings through it for out number 2.
Brandon Wilkinson, who singled in his first at-bat in the second inning, coming up to bat. Reese still at first. Grounded foul just outside of the Oaks dugout, third base way. Wilkinson just 27 at-bats last year at Cal State Northridge, so a lot of these Riptide players getting some consistent reps for the first time in a while. The 0-1. That'll miss upstairs.
It really is the case for a lot of CCL guys who are coming here from their schools, whether they redshirted or freshmen, sophomores, just not getting a lot of playing time. And it's really just summer ball in general. Guys who don't get the reps that they'd like, or even guys who do, it's just they're here to get reps and get their opportunities and develop.
Yeah, and these guys obviously, they're still playing in practice. They're most likely getting live at bats, but we talked about it a couple days ago. There's just such a big difference between seeing that real game and that real intensity when the emotions are up there versus just a live at bat with your buddy in practice. So it's just huge for these guys to get that consistent look at an arm in a real game situation. Grounded up the middle softly. Camarillo slides. He'll toss to second, but it's late. Just hit 63 miles an hour. You got a fielder's choice or a single on that?
It's a single.
Now batting for the Riptide, number
Unlucky
10.
one for Glassman. The shortstop Camarillo shaded over pretty far in the hole with the right-handed bat up. And just out of reach of the glove of Glassman, and unfortunately, speedy base runners were able to beat it.
Very athletic play. I will say one thing we've seen so far from Alon Camarillo is he's made some very nice web gems. Of course, in yesterday's game especially. Is that one apparently misses right down the middle, I guess, for ball 1.
It's the same batter too, Kemmer, with not getting that call at the top of the strike zone.
It's just, it's not like it's touching the top of the zone. Like that is directly in the strike zone. Like there's no question about it. And what it does as it's now 2-0 is it changes the entire complexion of the at-bat. I mean, if you look at like Major League Baseball stats, the difference between an at-bat starting 1-0 versus 0-1, it's over like 150 batting average points. So it's really putting the Oaks in a disadvantage right here, especially when you fire that first pitch strike and that doesn't get the call. 2 on and 2 down. As that one's outside, looks like he just overthrew it right there. Number 9 man up 3-0. I would imagine he's going to take here, but you never know.
Jack Holland is the pitcher getting loose in the Oaks bullpen.
Kemmerer in his first at bat flew out to the very wall in left field. We mentioned the wind has been blowing in today. Inside ball 4. Glassman thought it was there, but that one did appear to miss. As now West going out to calm him down, just the frustrations, you know, you fire in a first pitch strike, you don't get the call, it's a tired bat, feels like it's on your shoulders.
Well, yeah, you sometimes just feel like you have to be too perfect now.
Matthew Flaherty.
You don't get those borderline pitches sometimes. Try too hard and wind up missing the middle or just spiking everything.
I would imagine this is probably the last inning for Glassman. He struck out 3 and issued 2 free passes. Still a very nice outing as a whole. That 1 earned run. coming in this inning.
That wouldn't surprise me if this is his last hitter. The left-handed Flaherty out
Yep,
there.
left on left.
Cadena on deck.
There's strike one. No question about that one. That one's right down the middle. Big gap out in the right side of the infield. Kang kind of shaded over towards first base, and Camarillo a little bit behind the bag to the shortstop side. Base is loaded. The 0-1's fouled straight back toward us. Looked like he got a little bit jammed. That was an off-speed pitch, but it was kind of up and a little bit in the zone. Just firing it back.
Glassman does not need to throw a strike here. He can waste a couple. See if he goes with that cutter away.
Jammed foul to the left. Well, now if you're Glassman, you want to read that. There's two straight pitches he's late on. The first one being an off-speed pitch. I did not catch that last one, but
Fastball at the top of the zone.
we'll see what he wants to do here after back-to-back pitches that he's been tardy at the plate, especially with that one pitch being a breaking ball. Base is loaded for the Riptide here in the top of the fourth inning, 1-0. The 0-2 coming up. That'll miss. Very nice job by Landon West. You know, we mentioned no reason to have to throw a strike with 0-2. But also, you have to trust your catcher, and he does right there. Very nice block by West, who's versatile. We see him go to first base all the time.
Just wanted to be a little bit more competitive than that on an 0-2 pitch. That was the ball out of the hand. Easy take there from Flaherty.
1-2, chopped foul behind the plate.
It's the cutter right there from Glassman. And Flaherty able to just get a piece of it to stay alive.
Looks like in the bullpen, all the warm-up pitches are done, so I do agree with you, Josh. I believe this probably is his last batter no matter what. Hopefully it ends with an out to end the inning. We'll see. Stay tuned. Bases loaded, the pitch. To left center field, Joseph on the run into the gap. He'll make the catch to end the inning. So the Riptide leave him loaded, but they do get one and are on top 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning from Schwartzberg Anderson Field. You do that. Back here in the bottom of the fourth inning, Will Joseph, who was up, I should say, in the past inning, will come back up to bat after Carrillo got thrown out to end the inning. Riptide get one in the top of the inning, so now the Oaks with the first deficit of the afternoon.
Well, we'll see if this is a similar script.
And that one gets him right on the foot. Just a yanked fastball, but he appears to be okay. So a painful, good you could say, start to the inning.
Yeah, I mean, a leadoff base frustrating for the Riptide dugout after the Riptide get themselves on the board, giving themselves a 1-0 lead, and then Lordy coming back out and hitting the first battery faces on the first pitch and throws.
Wow, that part of the zone just completely not called today. Another one in there.
There really just is no top of the strike zone.
I mean, I guess you could say at least there's consistency.
No,
I mean, it's pretty bad consistency considering the fact that, like, these pitches, they're not borderline. Like, they're well in the strike zone.
yeah, but honestly, all you can ask for is some consistency.
Yeah. Like, it's in fact, in the game against the Riptide just 2 days ago, there was kind of some inconsistency that game with a certain part of the zone that it just killed hitters. And not only that, pitchers. 2-0 will miss outside. That's up for ball 4. So back-to-back runners will reach to start the end, and now the whole entire Riptide infield coming in. Imagine if we got. Be bad luck though for sure. I'm gonna pause this.
This mound visit is probably just to give the right-handed reliever in the pen for the Riptide some time. He just went down there and started throwing. First and second, nobody out. We'll see if the Oaks decide to bunt in this situation. It is certainly a bunt situation, but you never know with baseball evolving if the Oaks will decide to lay a bunt down.
The Oaks in the first game of this, I wanted to say series, but the first game against the Riptide this past Thursday, they did have their opportunities. I mean, it was a great pitching performance by the Oaks for sure, but you can say there was a bit of frustration. A lot of runners in scoring position just not coming across to score. 2 on, nobody out for Beltowski. There's that slider right in there in the middle of the zone. Kind of buckled him. I mean, it must be difficult starting on the inside part of the plate. You think it might stay in or even hit you, and it just drops right in there. The front door pitch is one of the hardest things righty-righty, especially with the breaking ball. Slider called a strike, but definitely a little bit off the plate. Beltowski asking the home plate umpire about it. And the Oaks here, at the very least, you just got to move up the runners.
Well, now he's in an 0-2 hole. Beltowski's just looking to put the ball in play.
Beltowski with some big hits in the very first game of the season. Looking for some more of those hits. 1-2. That'll miss. Looked like he was trying to go back to that front door pitch, but just missed a little bit. Perhaps released it a little bit too early, so the count will even at 2.
Yeah, stoppage in play as baseball comes down from the Riptide bullpen all the way behind home plate.
As somebody in there, I assume to be a PO, kind of fired it back over there, but over the head. 2 on, nobody out. The 2-2 to Beltowski. Chopped back to the mound, and a little bit of a bobble, and everybody's going to be safe. A nightmare situation for the Riptide as Wardy was thinking throwing to first before he made that play. You know, the coaches always tell you ball first, but clearly thinking about throwing Beltowski out and takes his eye off the ball. And now we got bases loaded for Landon West.
And we mentioned if the Oaks were going to bunt or not, and they decided not to, but right when Beltowski made contact there, I was thinking, oh, here we go, sacrifice bunt. Works just the same, and luckily enough for the Oaks, Wardy bobbled it, and everybody's safe.
Now Landon West, we talked about it a little bit earlier, just six games played in his freshman campaign at Rice, but in high school he was a monster. Hit .330 with a .492 on-base percentage, a .499 slugging percentage, .991 OPS in his senior year. Especially behind the plate, he threw out half the batters, stealing. So West definitely one of those players who's an offensive catcher. You know, it's always a plus. Catchers, you think, well, they got to work well with the pitcher, they got to play good defense. But when you got a plus guy, a guy like that who can hit for average, hit for power, it's always a good look. A mound visit currently going on. The second one of the inning, you don't often see that, as now looks like they're bringing the pitcher in. Up. Back here, the Oaks are in business. They got the bases loaded and nobody out with Landon West coming up. As I was mentioning, Landon West, not a lot of playing time in his first year at Rice, but one of the he plays first base as well. Ball one. New pitcher in for the Riptide. Cohen Thomas.
Thomas this year at Santa Barbara City College. Through 25 and a third innings, an ERA just below 5.
Swinging a high fly ball center field, chasing Kamura back. He will make the catch in the gap. Both runners, Anderson and Joseph, are tag, and an RBI sac fly for Landon West. It's a tie game, 1-1.
Great piece of hitting there from West. Not trying to do too much. Knows he's just got to put the ball in the outfield to give the Oaks a run, and sees a fastball up in the zone, drives it out to center field, more than deep enough to score a run, and now the Oaks have run 90 feet away, chance to take the lead.
Just an excellent at bat, you know. Obviously, you'd love a base hit, but that's huge. Any out productive is completely helping out this team as the game is tied. Runners at the corner now for Ty Walton. That one will miss outside. Nice job by Wilkinson to kind of corral that in the left-handed batter's box. He really had the lunge for that one. Boltowski at first, Anderson at third. And now falling behind is Thompson, 2-0. Tommy Kedlinger waits on deck. Popped up right side, but that's going to find foul territory.
It's a really nice job there by the catcher. letting the first baseman Cadena know that ball was out of play immediately. He got great perception of the field as well. He didn't even have to run over the line.
Yeah, you know, initially I thought that was probably going to stay in, but it well out. 2-1. Somehow catches the corner. Appear to be down and way out. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out. So now 2 outs in the inning, and Tommy Kedlinger trying to give the Oaks their first lead of the game.
Number 20, Tommy Hedlinger.
That's an incredibly frustrating at bat for Walton. Gets ahead in the count 2-1.
Zone plate umpires signaling that Thompson's not looking at Kedlinger before he started his motion.
I didn't even know that was a rule in the CCL, but okay. Walton, it's unfortunate for him. Got the short end of the stick. Fell behind the count on a pitch that was just not a strike and went down on a really nice slider.
Runner goes at second, no throw. Pump fake bluff by the catcher Wilkinson. So now 2 runners in scoring position for the Oaks, a major opportunity, especially with the 2-0 count to Kedlinger.
Well, and we'll see now with that stolen base how careful I pitched to Kedlinger. Already in the 2-0 count, first base is open. 9-hitter Camarillo waits on deck. I wouldn't expect Thomas to throw a strike to Kedlinger in this situation.
3-0. And I think third base coach issuing the take sign. Kedlinger with a 306 average, 3 homers in 40 games in his second year at Hancock College. There's a strike on the corner. Very nicely placed. So the count will move to 3-1.
Wouldn't surprise me here to see Thomas go with the breaking ball. Even in a 3-1 count, 9-hitter on deck, first base open. Not sure if he wants to throw him anything middle.
Just below the zone, ball 4.
Yeah, it was definitely a ball. A few baseballs length below the zone. As Kedlinger was running down the line there, he just let Camarillo and the rest of the dugout know what pitches he saw there. Let them know it was all straight heaters.
Alan Camarillo with the bases loaded. Outside for ball 1.
So you got to be careful now if you're Thomas. There's nowhere to put Camarillo. But you also don't want to give him anything too good to hit.
Yanks that one, and nicely done by Wilkinson to just kind of trap that ball. He didn't even catch it. As now all of a sudden, a lot of trouble throwing strikes for Thomas. 6 free passes issued by Riptide pitching, and it's definitely a frustrating thing for the Oaks, those free passes, but just 1 run to show for it. I remember back in the first inning, back-to-back walks to King and Joseph, and they both did not come around to score. So the Oaks have had their chances to put a lot of runs on the board, but just looking for the big hit, and hopefully we can see that here with Alan Camarillo. Ahead 2-0 here. 3-0. Take sign from third base coach, as we're most likely going to see a fastball fired in there. Six free passes issued by Riptide pitching, and on the verge of 7. The 3-0, and that's going to miss for ball 4. So Camarillo will pick up the RBI, and the Oaks take the 2-1 lead.
Now batting for the Oaks, number 4, Austin Arios.
Well, Thomas did a nice job when he first entered, getting West to fly out on the sacrifice fly and then getting a strike out of Walton, but the last couple hitters, 9 pitches thrown at 8 balls. Walking a couple of Oaks batters.
Now the base is loaded for Austin Carrillo. Big day at the plate yesterday. In there for a strike. Kind of a little two-seam action right there, riding the inside part of the plate, but then darting more towards the center of the plate. Baltowski at third, with Kenlinger at second, and Carrillo at first. Flared foul to the left out of play. Carrillo finding himself quickly in an 0-2 hole. O2 coming up. Actually might have caught a portion of the zone, but Carrillo stands so close to the plate. Kind of a tough call for the home plate umpire.
Yeah, 100%. It also just had so much movement, it might have fooled the umpire. It looked like it was going to hit Carrillo, but broke 20 inches on the fastball.
Downstairs, nicely done by Wilkinson to save a run there. Oaks with the lead, but still looking for that big hit. They didn't have it in the first game against the Riptide this past Thursday, so looking for the first big hit against the Riptide all year.
And they're still looking for a hit at all in this ballgame.
Absolutely.
Without a hit.
2 runs without the benefit of a hit. The 2-2. Ripped the shortstop, but it's right at Flaherty. He'll toss to second, but it's going to be a catcher's interference. So that is going to score a run for the Oaks, and actually that's how the season started for Carrillo. First at bat the Oaks took this year as catcher's interference.
Yeah, that one might have been a painful one.
Yeah, I actually heard it, but I wasn't sure. I was like calling the play, but then you say it, and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely catcher's interference.
Glove went flying too. It was a good chunk. Good chunk of Wilkinson's glove. And how often do you see this? Oaks 3 runs, no hits.
Not often. And you could say, I mean, kind of sloppy job by the Riptide, but also the Oaks still not really doing their best offensively at the plate. But anytime you have a big lead, or a lead, you'll take it.
And that's just what we've been talking about all year. Just manufacturing runs any way you can if you're the Oaks. Doesn't need to be a hit. Just hitting the ball where it's pitched, doing whatever you can to get the run in.
1-0, and the base is filled with Oaks. Tardy on that one.
Tell you what, Jack Holland's been standing and waiting in the bullpen for a long time.
Definitely. That'll miss. So the count moves to 2-1. Oaks looking for their first hit and looking to extend this lead. Bases yoked with Oaks. The 2-1. To right field, struck pretty well, but Brown is over. He'll make the catch over the shoulder. So allowed out number 3 to end the inning. 3-1 the score. The Oaks get 3 in the inning. We're heading to the top of the 5th inning here at Sparky Anderson.
back for the top of the 5th inning. Max had to step away for just a moment, but he'll be back in a second. Leading things off here in the 5th inning, first baseman Nathan Cadena. Cadena puts second base and third. Over to first today. Takes first pitch, breaking ball off the plate. Max is back.
Hello, guys.
New pitcher for the Oaks is Jack Holland.
That one will miss.
Holland is coming off his sophomore season at Santa Barbara City College. Currently in the transfer portal, looking for a new organization to play with in the fall.
2-0 will miss. Looked like it caught the top of the zone, but I mean, it's been consistent. There's a strike.
It was a 6.3 ERA in 10 innings this year for Jack.
Chopped left side, Camarillo on the run. Throws to the first and picked on the back end, but no! Safe at first, and the second questionable call we've seen there had the makings to be a great play.
Well, the Oaks certainly have to feel like they're getting the short end of the stick in this one because it definitely seems like every questionable call has gone the way of the Riptide.
Especially with the strike zone.
Strike zone, there's been a couple plays at first that were really close.
First pitch to Rocco Gumpus popped up a mile high in foul territory. Anderson makes the catch, bluffing and almost tagging, but heading back to the bag will be Kitsadena.
That was a really difficult play too for Anderson, as he was shifted with a left-handed bat, and he did have a long way to run for that one. He was able to make the catch routinely.
Jake Brown standing in. He ripped that double that got the Riptide their one run in the fourth. He later on came to score. Slider misses upstairs, just slipped out of the hand. Pick off the first, but back safely.
Almost did a bit of everything for SBCC this spring. Even though he only threw 10 innings, he did start a couple games as well as close a game, picking up one save.
On the corner for a strike, the count evens at 1.
Great spot from Jack, touching 90 on that pitch as well. Hitting the outside corner.
In there for a strike. Very nice front door breaking ball. Hauling ahead here, 1-2 to Brown. On the ground, 2-ball. Camarillo on to his left, a second for one, on to first. Double play! Nice job on the 6-4-3 double play. Turned by the Oaks, and they got out of this one unscathed. Heading to the bottom of the 5th. Welcome back to Spark Anderson Field. Oaks still on top 3-1. Still looking for their first hit of the ball game despite having a 2-run lead. And a great guy to do it in Will Joseph at the plate. Joseph hit .362 with 5 bombs in 47 games at Oklahoma Baptist this season. And he'll take one that'll run inside for a ball.
No action going on in either bullpen. So it'll be Jack Holland for another inning.
Strains him up, but upstairs. And maybe caught a little bit of the zone again, but apparently not. Kind of mislocation. Had a lunge across the plate. 2-0 to Joseph. 3-0. We'll see if he has a green light. Definitely a hitter that you would imagine able to do so. Oaks looking for the first hit of the game. Flared foul to the left out of play.
A 3-0 green light there for Joseph. But it wasn't a great hitter's pitch, honestly. Fastball up and away. Joseph fouls it away.
At the knees, and it goes to 3-2.
That was a perfect pitch there from Thomas. Started on the inner half. He's at Joseph and wound up catching the zone.
The payoff pitch to Joseph. And he gets hit for the second straight at bat. And you could tell, very understandably so, frustrated is Joseph, as now the Oaks have had at least 2 hit by pitches in all of the 4 games so far this season. Pretty remarkable stuff. His second hit by pitch of the day, and he's been on base all 3 times, but yeah, understandably frustrating for Joseph.
Well, that one definitely sounded like a hurt too.
Straight on it looked like the thigh.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
I mean, thankfully it wasn't like the knee where there's not a lot of meat, but still, I've been hitting the thigh. That hurts.
Yeah, that'll leave a mark.
And now Anderson almost gets hit by a pitch. Oaks dugout a little bit chirpy after that one.
Yeah, they were even chirpy a little bit after the Joseph.
Yeah.
2 straight pitchers. Gonna fire up the dugout.
Looking for some revenge. That'll miss inside. Just about a ball off the plate. Oaks looking for that first long ball of the year, that first hit of the game. The 2-0. Tap foul behind the plate. He might have chased that one a little bit off.
Well, there's just a lot of movement on that fastball there for Thomas. So it started on the outer half of the plate. And
Just cuts away, yep.
the ball's off.
Pretty wide gap on the right side of the infield because of the double play depth. And now Anderson is hit. And he tosses the bat, and that is going to be pretty frustrating for these Oaks hitters. You could tell that one hurt. Another, basically the same exact spot, right in the leg. Seems like just like no control right now. That's now the Oaks' 3rd hit by pitch of the game. The Oaks are averaging over 2.5 a game this season. It's pretty remarkable. This is my first league in the CCL. Maybe you can enlighten me. Does this happen often, do you say?
All the HPPs?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, with the Oaks, yes. It really just seems to be an MO of this team the past couple seasons. They're just always at the top of the CCL leaderboard getting hit by pitches. And even when I was looking at the stats for some of these Oaks hitters, it just seems like a lot of them get hit at school as well. It's definitely something Coach Solis looks for. Not get hit by pitches per se, but just that type of player, that type of grittiness that you'd like to look for.
When I was at Northeastern this past year calling games, Luke Beckstein, their second baseman, he had the most hit by pitches in the NCAA.
How many times was he hit?
I'm not sure exactly, but it was like in the 40s. It was pretty remarkable. And keep in mind, they played like 55, 56 games. That's like basically almost one per game. 2 runners on for the Oaks. That'll sail up and away, and it just looks like there's no command of the strike zone right now.
Still no one warming up in the bullpen for the Riptide. And this is the second time today that Beltowski's been up there with first and second, nobody out. He didn't lay down a bunt his last time, but he was able to reach on an air-bound pitcher.
Popped up behind us.
This is now twice that Beltowski's been up there with first and second, nobody out, and they've let him swing away. It worked out the first time as he hit that comebacker that pitcher was unable to handle.
Serve to right field, very shallow. This could fall, and it will. Fair. Joseph around third. He's going to score. Anderson trotting over to third. The throw will be late. Into second now, sliding. Standing is Beltowski. So there's a way to get your first hit of the game on just a served flare to right field, and that's baseball for you.
Well, of course, the Oaks have hit a couple of balls, a few balls, I should say, over 90 miles an hour, right at outfielders, and then the one that's popped up lands for a hit.
What do you got on that, partner? You got a single, then he advanced a second on the thrower.
Yes, sir. Honestly, that throw to third was incredibly unnecessary from the right fielder. There was no chance to get Anderson at third.
Thomas already falling behind 1-0. He's fallen behind each of the hitters in this inning. 2 in scoring position and still nobody out in the inning. Oaks on top 4-1. There's a strike about a ball and a half off.
Big opportunity now for the Oaks to extend their lead. 2 men in scoring position, nobody out.
Perfectly dotted pitch on the bottom left of the zone. West definitely thought it missed, but it seemed to just barely clip that bottom left corner. So now he falls behind 1 and 2. Anderson on third, Beltowski on second. 1-2, and that's an unbelievable block by Wilkinson, and he's in pain. He's just having to work his butt off. Thomas going over to check on him, but you can imagine maybe he's a little frustrated. The pitcher's been all over the place this inning, and now having to sacrifice his body. I'm not sure where it got him, maybe on the forearm or toward the thigh, but he seems to be in quite a bit of pain.
And the best athletic trainer in the CCO, Yoshi, heads out there. Riptide don't have a trainer up to this point in the season. You don't need one when Yoshi's around.
Gosh, I got to say, like, catcher's the most physically demanding position.
One of the best blocks I've ever seen.
It's unbelievable. That was a yanked pitch. He throws it from his knees. He throws himself to the right, able to somehow just keep that ball from getting to the backstop. And here at Sparky Anderson Field, it's quite a big backstop. I can assure you that Anderson would have scored had that ball gotten by him. But I'm sure he's going to remain in the game, but it's just kind of a sting right there. He's just getting checked on by their coach.
They're fixing his gear.
Yeah.
Right shin guard getting fixed. The Oaks dugout giving him a round of applause.
You know, it always frustrates me whenever somebody who doesn't really know baseball, they go, "What's the easiest position?" Well, catcher, you just catch the ball. Like, that's just not the way it is. Yeah.
It's really interesting because right now Thomas has been struggling pretty heavily this inning, and there's not a hint of action in the Riptide bullpen.
Yeah, that appears to be his inning. 1 run already across.
We talked about it before the game, but the Riptide have traveled pretty lightly today. They didn't bring a full team with them, at least it doesn't look like it. There's only a few players in their dugout, so you have to wonder how many pitchers are even available for OC today.
2 in scoring position for Landon West, the 2-2. Popped up, but that'll find some seats.
The Riptide coach really wanted that ball to be in play. Second that contact was made, he said ball straight up. It was well fouled.
2 on, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on the inning. West cues it right in front of the plate. The pitcher will glove flip home, and Anderson will be out. He was running on contact. So first and third now with one down in the inning.
What's a dream play for a pitcher?
Now batting for the Oaks,
You see
number
so many
28,
times in practice.
Ty Walton.
You'll be practicing that squeeze play at the plate, and they love glove flipping. And that's executed perfectly there by Thomas, with Anderson running on contact, as you mentioned. Unfortunate for the Oaks there. Now the Riptide are one pitch away from getting back in the dugout.
Ty Walton 0 for 2 in the afternoon. He popped up to the second baseman Johnson his first at bat and struck out swinging in his last. It's a fastball that somehow catches the corner. There's the corners for the Oaks. The 0-1. To right field, that's going to get down for a hit. From third, Boltowski will score. Rounding second and heading to third will be West. Into second, Wallen slides safe. And now the ball gets away. Here comes West. He's going to score, and that sails away. And now going to third will be Walton standing up. What the heck just happened? An absolute roller coaster play, as ending up on third base is Ty Wallen with 2 runs coming across for the Oaks.
Now batting for the Oaks, number 20, Tommy Hedlinger.
Piece of hitting there from Walton. Taking the pitch on the outside corner and driving it down the right field line, earning himself a double, and that heads up base runner over there as well from West. See that throw kick away.
A roller coaster of emotions right there. Tommy Kedlinger, an 0 for 1 day. He grounded out to the pitcher in the second inning, but he walked last time in the fourth. Just one at bat to his name so far in this game. Still one out in the inning. And he serves out one to shallow right field, but it will find some foul territory. You can really smell the concession stand food right now. I definitely am. Hungry for more runs, though, you could say. Walton at third. 1-1 coming up to Kedlinger. Ripped towards the gap in left center field. That's going to get down. Walton will score. Rounding first and heading to second will be Kedlinger. The throw will pull him off the bag, and it's an RBI double. Oaks up 7-1.
They were through 4 innings with a 3-1 lead, but still no hits on the board. And now here in the 5th, a 4 spot, a few knocks, and the Oaks lead 7-1 all of a sudden.
You had to think it was only a matter of time, especially with all the free passes, just the way the Oaks at bats were looking as Camarillo takes the ball.
And finally, the Riptide have sent someone down to begin stretching. Still no action.
Camarillo picked up an RBI and a bases-loaded walk in his last at-bat. 1-0, popped foul. Slaps that one foul. Kind of late on the slider. Camarillo's made some nice defensive plays today. Picked up his first base hit of the summer yesterday. One, two, and he spits on it. Nice.
It's a nice pitch there from Thomas. It's a strike for quite some time. Camarillo watches it all the way in. Spits on it.
Only one out still. 2-2. Hits softly to third on the hands. They'll make the throw across the diamond is Gump. So no advance on the runner. And that one definitely stung on the hands.
Yeah, that was a stinger for sure. I'm not entirely sure how he even pulled that baseball.
So now Austin Carrillo coming up. Carrillo reached on a catcher's interference in the fourth. He walked in the third, and he lined out to right in the first. So an 0 for 1 day. Ripped up the middle of center. Coming in is Kemmerer, and he'll make the catch. Another hard hit out. But the Oaks, they score 4 times on a couple base hits. It's a 7-1 game as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Back here at Sparky Anderson Field in the top of the 6th inning, Oaks scored 4 in the bottom of the 5th, and you got to think Jack Holland is back out there. A long wait time for him, as there's already action in the Oaks pen, but number 18, Luke Johnson, to lead it off. 0 for 2 in the afternoon. He grounded out to second in the 2nd inning, and he singled, or excuse me, he popped out to second in the 4th. In there for a strike. Before this bottom of the 5th inning where the Oaks scored 4, they had not had their first hit of the game, but Tanner Beltkowski took care of that with a bloop hit down the line, and then some more to come as the Oaks score 4. Johnson waves at that one. It's definitely refreshing to see the big hits in this inning, especially in that last game against the Riptide on this past Thursday. As this one's ripped to right, coming in will be Kendlinger, but it'll fall in front of him. He'll play it on a hop, a leadoff single for Johnson. But as I was saying, it felt like the Oaks had a lot of runners on that game. They were working counts well, but they just didn't have the big hit. And they finally benefited from it here in the 5th inning. So they look to shut down the Riptide. Up and away for ball 1. Check over on the runner, Johnson, but he's back safely with the slide.
The Oaks do have action now in their bullpen. Not warming up especially quickly, but lightly tossing is Damon Villa.
Up the middle, Camarillo plays out on the hop. He will go to the short way at second. Very risky play right there as Kang was not very close to the bag, but they do end up getting the lead runner, so it does work out to the Oaks' benefit. Kind of felt like an eternity where he was waiting for Kang to get to the bag.
Yes, indeed. I wasn't sure if he was throwing across while he was waiting there, but it's a nice play by Camarillo, and nice job by Kane to get over too, as he was shifted over with the left-handed bat.
Absolutely. Down and away, nice block by Landon West. Matthew Thomas, not his best day so far. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts swinging. Those both came from the starter Glassman. On the ground to third, Anderson corrals it to second for 1. Kang's throw to first, in time, out number 3. 5-4-3 on the DP. Oaks strand that runner. It's still 7-1, folks. We're heading to the bottom of the 6th inning from Sparky Anderson Field. Back here in the bottom of the 6th inning, new pitcher for the Riptide, Luke Sterner.
Sterner, a right-handed pitcher out of BYU. Just finished off his sophomore campaign. 22 and 2/3 innings, 17 appearances, starting 10 innings. 6.75 ERA. 21 strikeouts in those 22 and 2/3.
Jordan King ready to lead it off for the Oaks. 0 for 2 with the walk on the day. Still swinging a hot bat. A couple hits in yesterday's game. He's really been a pleasant surprise. He didn't start in the first game, but had a big RBI double in that first game against the Coastal Dodgers, and ever since then he's found his way in the lineup. As this first one's by him. King out of Harvard. No homers this past year, but he did have 2 his freshman year. Bender drops in there for a strike, front door.
Sterner's got a very over-the-top delivery. Curveball. The really moving 12 to 6.
Chopped to the left side. Flaherty has it on the run, and in time to retire King for out number 1. Now Will Joseph, who has not registered an at-bat in today's game, but he's reached base all 3 times. He walked in the first, hit by pitch in the 4th and 5th innings. Been a lot of hit by pitches this game, a lot of hit by pitches this season for the Oaks. As this one's launched to the left field, but right at Thomas. Hard out. We've seen a lot of those today. Just a lot of rockets off the Oaks bats finding gloves.
Now batting for the Oaks, number 26, Brandon Anderson.
Yeah, I believe 4 of their 5 hardest hit balls today have resulted in outs. The only ball that they've hit over 90 miles an hour that wound up being hit was Tony Kennedy's line drive to left center.
That's baseball for you. And then as we saw, Belkowski, the little flare down the line is a huge hit in this game, the first one for the Oaks, and that was barely hit 70 miles an hour. 64. It's an unrewarding game. It's, you know.
That really eats at you mentally.
Yeah, you got to be strong to play this game. The 1-0 upstairs.
91 on the radar gun there for Sterner.
I mean, because you think about it, like baseball, the best hitters in the world, they succeed 3 out of 10 times. You think of any other sport, that's like awful. I guess you could say like shooting in basketball, 3-point land, but just in general, a rule of thumb that where you fail 7 out of 10 times and you're amazing, that's kind of an interesting thing to think about. Out ahead of that one, 2-2. Two coming up to Brandon Anderson. And a swing and a miss. He got him. First strikeout of the day for Sterner. Oaks go down in order here in the bottom of the 6th inning, but they still have the 7-1 lead. We're heading to the top of the 7th, folks. Back here, Brandon Wilkinson ready to lead it off for the Riptide. Oaks still on top 7-1. We head to the top of the 7th. It's getting later. Shows bunt but pulls it back and takes the ball upstairs. 88-mile-an-hour fastball above the zone from Holland. Wilkinson 2 for 2 today. 2 singles, 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 4th. Kind of scanning third base. He looked at Anderson. Now Anderson kind of walking in.
For Holland, he's already completed 2 scoreless innings out of relief. The Oaks do have someone down in the bullpen, not really throwing at the moment.
1-1, and he blows it by him on a changeup, I believe.
Slide piece there from Holland.
Interesting to see if they read that because he did appear to be pretty late on that. We'll see what they want to do here if they go to a fastball reading that, but stay tuned. Popped up to the right side of the infield. Kang, glasses on, will make the catch for out number 1.
decipher the breaking ball that Holland's throwing.
To the right side.
It's hard to tell if it's more of a faster slider or just a slower cutter. But it's got a similar profile to the cutter movement that Glassman is throwing.
This is upstairs. Two and 0. There's a strike on the corner. Count moves to 2 and 1.
Kemmerer today just missed a home run flying down the left field line. Walked in the last minute.
Now Holland finds himself falling behind 3 and 1. Seven runs scored across the 4th and 5th innings for the Oaks. That's in there for a strike.
The 6-run lead, 3-2 down here for Holland. Try to go right down the middle. No need to walk anyone, especially the 9-hitter.
As that is on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Nice slider there from Kemmer, or excuse me, from Holland to get Kemmer for out number 2 of the inning. So now top of the order for the 4th time today, Matthew Flaherty coming back up. An 0 for 2 day. He grounded out to second in the 1st, hit by a pitch in the 3rd, flew out to left field in the 4th. And he's way out ahead of that one for strike 1. Serve towards left center field. Joseph calls and catches out number 3. Nice 1-2-3 inning there for Jack Holland. We're going to head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Oaks on top 7-1. Tanner Beltowski going to lead it off for the Oaks here in the bottom of the 7th. Conejo on top 7-1 over Orange County. These two teams met this past Thursday, although the Riptide came out on top 3-1, but So far, I should say, a different story today. First pitch spiked in front of the plate, and Wilkinson's really had a rough day there. Home plate umpire walking out, throwing the ball, giving him a little bit of time. Nice little courtesy check.
Yeah, Wilkinson sure is getting beat up behind the plate. In addition to all the balls that he's blocked, they take that nasty catcher's interference too. Damon Villa is warming up much quicker now in the Oaks bullpen, so he'll likely get the 8th inning.
High pop-up, but again, it's got to find some seats. We've seen a lot of those today, kind of those pop-ups that just go right over the Riptide dugout and out of fair territory. Boltowski ahead here with 2-1. At the knees for strike 2. To right field, and that will be caught at first base by Cadena.
Now batting number
Nice
35.
with that there from Boltowski. Only 58 miles an hour coming off his barrel. Easy play over there for
Now Landon West coming back. Fourth time, he's going up for an IAB. Swings and fouls that one into Wilkinson's mitt for strike 1. West doing an excellent job behind the plate here, as always, for the Oaks. Up the middle, shortstop Flaherty has it, spins and fires on the run, and it is in time. What a play by Flaherty. That's impressive.
off the bat. I thought it was a sure single there from West.
Now batting for the Oaks.
Flaherty is
Number 28.
no decision making to
Lawson.
spin, quick fire, and thankfully West isn't the speediest runner out of the box. Flaherty had time to get him.
Now the first 2 Oaks retire to start the 7th. Ty Walton, who had one of the craziest plays that last one, where the ball was just snowballing all over the field after his base hit to right. That was back in the 5th inning. Ended up on third base after the third baseman, Gump, just sailed it over Wilkinson, the catcher's head. Just kind of a roller coaster-like play. Landed on the fastball at 91. Healthy hack for Ty. Another fastball, and he's still tardy. 1-2.
Scherner's got some nice carry on this fastball. Making it difficult to hit, looking like it's 91, probably looking like 93, 94.
Outside at 93, so we see 91, we see 92, and now we see 93.
It probably feels even harder with the vertical break on it.
Absolutely, a very efficient spin rate. 2-2 coming up to Walton. And that is not a strike. The entire field, or at least the entire Riptide, were kind of running off the field. It looked like the home plate umpire was starting to stand up, maybe starting like a strike 3 call, but does not signal. It did appear to catch the zone from our TrackMan by quite a bit. But Ty gets another life, and he strikes him out anyways. 3-2, fouled into the catcher's mitt for out number 3. We're going to the top of the 8th inning, folks. Conejo on top of Orange County, 7-1. Back here at Spark Anderson Field, top of the 8th inning. Oaks on top 7-1. New pitcher, Damon Villa, into the game. Via UCLA student manager of the baseball team. He hopes to walk on this next season. I was talking to him a little bit before the game today during batting practice. And this one is grounded to Anderson pretty much straight away. He'll sling across the diamond for out number 1. One pitch, one out here in the 8th.
ERA, 41 and a third innings pitched. He's in the transfer portal right now, currently looking for a new school, which of course we know makes these innings extra important for Villa. 24 strikeouts in those 41 innings.
To right center field, coming in is Kedlinger, and it'll fall in front of him. Kind of misplayed it at first. He thought it was going to be deeper. He started back, but it falls right in front of him for a base hit.
Which just sounded good after that, which is probably a few out.
And the swing especially, I think the swing fooled him. It was kind of a big swing, and it looked like it was going to go a lot farther, personally for me.
I think he got in on his hands and jammed him just a little bit, which is why the ball fell in front of Kedlinger.
First pitch to Brown, misses up. Brown 1 for 3 on the day, flew out to right field in the first, doubled in the 4th, and grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the 5th. Check over there on Gump, but he's back safely. On the ground, Taylor made double play. Camarillo goes to second for 1. On to first, that's 2. The third double play turned by the Oaks today. And they get out of the inning pretty much unscathed, easy. 7-1 still, Conejo on top of Orange County. We're heading to the bottom of the 8th. Back here, Tommy Kedlinger ready to lead it off for the Oaks number 8 hitter. Oaks on top of the Riptide, 7-1. First pitch in there for a strike. Sterner back out there for the Riptide. Kendlinger, a big double in his last at-bat. It's a 1-1, and he waves and goes around on that swing, 1-2. Most likely the last half inning, the Oaks will come to bat, barring an absolute catastrophe. Up 7-1. 2-2. That one at 92 from.
The Riptide waited until they were down 7-1 to use Sterner. 'Cause he's got some stuff up there.
Yeah, it looks good. He's sitting in the nines, so. And for the most part, he's pretty much around the plate. Kind of spikes that fastball, though, just as I say that. So the count moves full.
He's also a pretty good command of the curveball that he's been throwing, too. Expect a fastball here, though.
3-2 pitch. And that is ball 4. Second time Kendlinger's reached out a free pass. So that'll bring up Alon Camarillo.
We're going to have, looks like we're going to have a slew of pinch hitters coming up for the Oaks after Camarillo. Jaden Mingus in the on-deck circle instead of Austin Carrillo.
Camarillo has not had a base hit today, but he does have an RBI on a bases-loaded walk, and he's made a couple of very nice defensive plays today. He's tardy on that fastball. Definitely's got some smooth hands at shortstop, Camarillo. Kendlinger at first, and he runner goes, and the pitch is popped up foul. Kind of got sawed off on that fastball. It was a strike on the inside corner, but just the velocity from Sterner. So fan gets a nice souvenir. Kind of interesting to see Kendlinger go up 7-1.
7-1's close enough.
Starting to stop from him, and that pitch, well, it's been consistent, folks. Does apparently miss. And I guess maybe the hitter's adapting to it because, I mean, it's at the top of the zone for sure, but it's been very consistent today. 2-2, Kendlinger runs. Camarillo strikes out. The throw to second. And now they're going to call Alon Camarillo for interference with Wilkinson, saying that he stepped in front of him as he threw to second.
Okay, I just need some clarification on this rule because this is the second interference that we've seen in as many games. But the other day, the runner was just
Exactly. It's very... I mean, I believe in Major League Baseball they call the runners out, but I'm not sure here in the California League. So now pitch hitter Jaden Mingus. Upstairs. Mingus entered yesterday's game for Brandon Anderson after the Oaks were up that game 10-1. Nobody on and 2 outs in the inning now. 1-0, and he's tardy on a fastball up. Strike 2.
There's that breaking ball that Sterner's been able to throw so well. comes out of the same tunnel as the fastball. Hard for the hitters to decipher the two pitches.
Tapped foul towards the out-next circle as Kai Caranto waits. He would pinch hit for Jordan Kang. Caranto picked up an RBI single in yesterday's game, back in the second inning. But Minga's still up, but behind in the count 1-2. And that is on the inside corner, strike 3 called. Mingus didn't like the call, and understandably so. We're heading to the the top of the 9th inning. Oak's going to try to close this one out. Damon Villa going to be back on the mound. We're back here at the top of the 9th inning. Oaks looking to close it out and advance to 3-1 on the season. 7-1 game. Luke Johnson going to lead it off for the Riptide. Damon Villa back out there. Oaks pitching so far this season has been absolutely spectacular. Swing and a miss. Oaks pitching has allowed 7 runs combined in the total amount of the season so far. So 4 games after this 9th inning. High fly ball pop up, but it's going to find some seats. Especially like summer ball, the CCL, a very offensive league, you could say. It's just even more impressive with what the staff's doing. 1-2 on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Johnson didn't like the call, says some stuff, but it's out number 1 of the inning.
Now batting for the Riptide, number 1.
It's been a strike pretty much all game. Certainly a couple baseballs off the plate, potentially down as well. Really nothing you can do if you're a hitter there.
So now Reese, the designated hitter, back up. That'll trickle off out. Reese 1 for 2 on the afternoon. He walked in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, and reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th. Flared foul. Just 3 hits. A couple hits for the Riptide. 7 hits, actually, despite having the 1 run. Oaks only 3 hits, but to have the 7. Kind of interesting to see that. We did see a little bit of that yesterday, but it kind of, as the game wavered on, it tapered off. But the Barons, I remember, they at some point had more hits than the Oaks with that 1 run. That'll bounce in for a ball.
Yeah, I mean, the Oaks just did a good job today manufacturing runs and getting the hits when they needed to.
Absolutely.
No hits, and then there was time for them when they loaded the bases. Tommy Kemner came through. Ty Waller came through. They got the hits when they needed them.
2-2. This one's ripped out towards the gap in left center field. Joseph on the run, but it's going to find some grass behind him. Rounding first and heading to second will be Reese. So a one-out double here in the ninth.
It's a really nice swing there by Reese. Not trying to do too much.
Now batting for Riptide number 5.
Play driving to left
Matthew
center.
Thomas.
You have to wonder if a closer game, Reese busting out of the box more, potentially would have tried for a triple in that situation. But down 6 in the ninth inning, Reese was content staying on 2.
We do want to note Kai Caranto is actually at second base now, as well as Jaden Mingus in center. Some defensive changes here for the Oaks. Breaking ball drops in there for a strike. Bouncing in. One misses. I think West dropping that ball is what lost the call for Villa, but count will move to 2-1.
Might have been a bit of a cross up there.
Yeah, they are talking out there. That's a good point you mentioned that. I do believe you're right.
Runner on second, it always complicates things when giving signs behind the plate.
Yeah.
You need to make sure they're on the same page.
And I know we've talked about it a lot the last couple of days, but we can't stress it enough. This is the first times that these guys are working as a battery together. So there's always going to be some mistakes. We've seen it on both ends with both teams cross-ups, and that's a high fly ball to left field. Joseph onto the run, onto the warning track, will make the catch, tagging at second, and going to third. The play at the third will be not in time.
Brendan Wilkinson just got pulled from the on-deck circle for a pinch hitter.
Pinch hitter will be
Now batting for the Riptide number 26.
Max Senesac. Pause for the delay. On their roster sheet, he's actually not listed.
Yeah, I found him.
Oh.
I'm very surprised to see Reese try to get to third. Get to third safely, but 2 outs in the thing. It's pretty risky.
Strike one. Reese takes his lead down the third base line. Oh, one drops in there for a strike. A little front door breaking ball from Villa. Oaks 1 strike away from advancing to 3-1 on the season. The 0-2 popped up. Left side, West in foul territory, tosses the mask, but it'll be Anderson running over to make the catch, and that'll do it. The Oaks get the 7-1 victory over the Riptide. A little bit of revenge after dropping the game this past Thursday 3-1. They go to 3-1 on the season. The Riptide drop to 1-2. An excellent game all around for the Oaks. I got to say, the pitching is what shines for me again. Ethan Glass. Pitching's been. At the end of the day, though, the Oaks 7, the Riptide 1. They're going to be back in action tomorrow on the road in Pasadena against the Arroyo Seco Saints. We thank you guys for joining us for some Saturday night baseball. We appreciate all our loyal viewers. Go Oaks, and we'll see you next time.